now time for Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m. Starring Ryan Ermanni, Michigan great and former NFL baller Braylon Edwards, and of course, Tom Mazawey. Let's talk some sports.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk some sports. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. I'm here. Ermanni will not be with us today, ladies and gentlemen. Please pray for his family because he will pray for you. He's going through some family situations. He will be with us tomorrow, but send some prayers his way because you know he'd do it for you. Tom Mazawey with us in studio. Maz, how you doing?
They're reaching, they're scraping the bottom. They got me up here with you guys.
But, Maz, we've done this before and we do a great job. It's going to be a lot of fun. Got JB in the sound booth. JB, talk to me. How you feeling over there?
Oh, I'm good, fellas. How you guys doing? It's nice to see some fresh faces on the desk here.
This is the first time you've seen this, right?
Yeah,
Me and Maz on the desk?
Yeah, first time.
First time?
Interesting.
We got Fletch in the TD booth. Fletch, you doing okay today, brother? I see you over there. Appreciate it. We'll get it rocking and rolling. Fletch is a little upset because the NHL screwed the Detroit.
Upset.
That's because they screwed the Detroit Red Wings yet again with the 9th pick. But before we get to that, Maz, I had an interesting lunch just a second ago right here at Hazel's. And what I would tell you is make sure you save your numbers in your phone. I meet so many people at golf, and I'm not trying to forget people I meet or be disrespectful. But I have golf outings, there's Michigan games, there's people I run into at Michigan Panthers games. I see people, I give out my number. At least I'm giving out my real number. Like I'm an honest man. I thought I was talking to this guy that was another guy that had won at golf auction last summer. So I thought that this was the lunch that I owed him. And so I'm going to the lunch, expecting to talk about golf and Michigan football. I met his wife at the auction as well. So I'm like, all right, here we go. We can get this out the way, get it done. It'll be a good lunch right at Hazel's, right by the job. Well, it wasn't him, and it wasn't his wife. It was another guy that my dad knows that's been trying to get me to invest. He's been trying to get me to invest some money in this idea. So he gave me the whole deck. He gave me the whole spiel. So I was like, oh, my God, F word. What am I doing in here? But the conversation that we had that wasn't about the finances, it wasn't about the loan, actually was a good conversation.
Did he buy you lunch?
100% he
There
did.
you go. You made out.
I did. I made out. I made out ahead of my money, but he was an amazing dude. We talked about stories. He talked about coaching his son's baseball team when he was younger. Great stories. It was a lunch that I didn't know I need to have, but I did have, and it restored my faith a little bit in humanity.
That's cool,
So it was a really good lunch. He was a great guy.
Sometimes God puts us in a place where we're supposed to be.
Agreed. Like, it was a very good lunch.
You're supposed to meet that guy today.
It's very nice. He knows my mom and dad. So I do. Once I got in there, I remembered him as he started talking. I always know who someone is by which father they reference.
Okay.
Like when they reference CP, I'm like, okay, I can pinpoint where I met them. When they mention my father, who by the way is doing well, went over there last night. He's doing a lot better.
Lost his mama.
Looks like he's at peace. If that will. So I appreciate your prayers. Are powerful. Appreciate you guys. He's doing better. Told me to tell you, Maz, thank you for the love. And then it's him. And then I was like, okay, well I know the person based off stand. So great lunch. It was a good time.
Here's
Maz.
the downside now. You still owe the golf guy a lunch. You got to find out who it is.
Not only do I still owe the golf lunch, I also got to figure out if I'm jumping into this investment now.
Hold on. I think you should.
You think so?
Because you were supposed to be there.
Man, that's a great way to look at it.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was the best accident you ever had. At least that's the way I'm spinning it to you.
Man, that's actually a great point. Like the way, and his actual breakdown in terms of what he was talking about is actually very interesting. You know, I got to take it to my business manager, who is Melissa Plater, aka my mom.
All right.
I got to get mom involved.
Hey,
We'll figure it out.
I got like $15-20 I could chip in.
You can maybe we should have put it all.
I want
on
a piece.
We should have put it on that horse on Saturday.
Should have put it on Mage.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say.
That's the only investments I got.
That's the only investments
it's
you
the
got.
Derby.
Man, what else you got for me today to start off this morning? Did you watch the games last night?
I did. I watched. You know what? I'd be honest with you. I went to bed a little early. Earlier than I usually do.
What's early for you? 12:05?
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
Because that's usually when the text comes in.
Right.
Early Tuesday.
Yep.
It's like 12:05.
So I'm sitting on the side of my bed and I'm like, oh, I forgot to send the guys the rundown.
Yeah.
So I quickly look at it, and I didn't have the final score of the Laker game in yet. And I almost wrote Warriors tie-up series and just went to bed. I didn't see the end of that game. And I wake up today, and all of a sudden I see the headlines. Who's this guy that scored 15 points in the fourth quarter?
Lonnie Walker. The
Who?
fourth. Lonnie Walker the fourth, I do believe. The
only Lonnie I ever knew in basketball was Lonnie Shelton, and he got drafted by the New York Knicks back in the early 80s.
Well, let me introduce you to Lonnie Walker. Lonnie Walker the fourth is the first Laker to have 15-plus points off the bench in the fourth quarter of a playoff game since none other than the Black Mamba himself, Kobe Bryant, who scored 17 points on May 6, 1997 versus the Utah Jazz. That was exactly 20 years ago yesterday.
Wow.
Storylines. You can't get that anywhere else but in sports.
Isn't that's unbelievable.
You know what, before
are they done? Are the freaking Warriors done?
So the short answer is no, and that's only because Steph Curry is the point guard of that team, the guy who you said is your favorite basketball player of all time. And he has a chance to get a little higher on that list, if you will. Because he's on the team, they still got a chance. But, Maz, the favor is of the team that is 3-1, which the Miami Heat went up 3-1. We'll talk about that as well.
I told you that yesterday. The Knicks ain't ready.
I told you why. Oh, and we'll talk about what Julius Randle said in that game. You as a New Yorker, I actually want to open the phone lines up for that. We'll get to that in a second. But, Maz, the reason why you watch the Lakers, you watch what happens, it's still Golden State. You still have Steph Curry, one of the best shooter of all time. Guy can score bunches, and you still know Klay Thompson. He has the pedigree of a champion, so you still give them an outside chance. But the numbers favor the team that's up 3-1. It's only happened 13 times in NBA history. It's 95% in favor of the team that's up 3-1. So the problem with I don't think they can, and I was a guy that said Warriors in 6. Yeah. I even went so far as to say Warriors in 5. Yeah, and now here I am.
Win another game.
It's now going to be Lakers in 6. Do I think the Warriors will win the next game? The problem is no one's giving credit. Two things. One, it's Darvin Ham. Look at the adjustments Darvin Ham has made. Lonnie Walker getting in the game. You're talking about a guy that started early on in the season, was a starter, didn't like him in the starting role. They benched him in favor of Russell Westbrook. He starts to get some garbage minutes here or there. He's a garbage minute player, and all of a sudden, in the crucial time for the Los Angeles Lakers, with LeBron's legacy on the line, they go to Lonnie Walker the fourth, and he performs 15 points. He knocked down all his shots. Talk about just being ready, Maz, when your name is called. Yep. That's the true definition of being professional.
No doubt about it, man. And that's just another star that is born, right? There's always a guy that you don't expect to come out of the woodwork, and here he is.
It's always the Lakers.
20 years to the day of Kobe doing that.
It's always the Lakers. Remember when one guy that had played in the G League for like 11 years, this is about 5 years ago, he came out and lit it up one game for 20 points. Austin Reeves comes out of nowhere. Caruso comes out of nowhere. It's always with the Los Angeles Lakers. AD played decent for them last night. You know, you still talk about LeBron. You look at them, they're getting points from everybody. They got 27-9 from LeBron. You got 23-15 from AD. And you got Austin Reeves get you 21, 4, and 2. And then Lonnie Walker the fourth gives you 15. All in the fourth quarter, mind you. All in the fourth quarter when you need points.
I heard.
Guys are coming. You got to give Darvin Ham a lot of credit for that.
No doubt, man. Yeah. That is coaching, knowing when to push the right buttons. But I hear Klay threw up a not-so-good shot towards the end of the game, and I heard that they caught Steve Kerr's face on camera, and he was not too happy. 2
not-so-good shots he took. And look, we understand it's the Golden State Warriors. We've seen them take a million different shots, and it's always, hey, look, it's the Warriors. They can get away with that. Well, now it starts to look bad when you're missing those shots. Problem with it for Klay Thompson, I'll give him a little bit of credit. They're asking him to do something he doesn't typically do. Usually he can create his own shots. He drives to the lane at times, but that's when you're having Steph play off ball. And you know when you're having Steph play off ball? When Jordan Poole is playing like the guy that you paid $140 million to, 123 of it guaranteed. Jordan Poole last year to this year is not the same player. He is destroying for Lakers. The Golden State Warriors. When you can't have Jordan Poole, who averaged 20 last year in the playoffs, who averaged 5 assists in the playoffs last year, who averaged 20 in the regular season this past year, when he drops down to averaging 10 points, Maz, in the playoffs, 10 points, he's shooting 17% from three-point range. He looks horrible. So now, Steve Kerr, you can't play Jordan Poole, which means you got to leave Klay in the game, who doesn't like playing off the ball to how Clay's setting it up. I mean, to how Steph is setting the offense up. Steph is doing everything, and he's not getting anything in return from Clay or Jordan Poole.
Do you think this is the whole thing that happened to him in the offseason with Draymond Green? Do you think it's now taken it's ruined him? Has it ruined him? I know he had a decent regular season. Right. I don't know. I'm just throwing crap out there.
No, you know what happened? I now understand why Draymond hit him in his damn mouth. Like, if we want to be honest, this is why Draymond punched him in the mouth, and rightfully so. Now, look, we at Woodward Sports don't condone violence of any kind. We're not advocating that we were happy that he did that. I'm simply saying I now understand why he got punched in the mouth. He's arrogant. He doesn't take the game serious. I would look at Jordan Poole. He's a Michigan guy. So this is me talking about a Michigan guy. We got another Michigan guy in the studio, our intern Alex. What's up to you? You look at it, he seems like a guy that no longer needs to get paid. He seemed like a guy that's no longer putting in the work, not taking it serious. The shot selection is horrible. It's getting worse by the second. He doesn't play defense. At least last year when he was averaging 20 and he had a couple games at 34 and a couple games at 32, you can deal with him being a liability on defense. He stinks on defense, but he's scoring 32. Yeah. He's scoring 25. When you're scoring 10 and you don't defend, we can't use you. And now one of the things that made us very successful last year against the Boston Celtics in the playoff, we can't use that. So now they're trying to change the offense. And Steve Kerr, I mean, I feel bad for him. They don't have anywhere to go. Matchups, and they don't match up well with Jordan Poole playing this bad.
Now they got Robinson Jr., right?
Yeah.
In the trade. Who did they trade to us again?
You said
Who did the Golden State Warriors?
Oh, James Wiseman.
Are they missing James Wiseman at all? Is this team flawed?
They don't have the problem right now. They don't have the size. Like, Wiggins was out for 3 months, so he's gonna have some good points. Like last night, Wiggins had 17 points. Wiggins gonna have some good points, but he's not fully in the groove defensively. His legs aren't fully there. You look at AD. A is dominating in the paint. When they go to the paint, they can't drive. With Steph Curry playing point guard, they can't drive. Clay's not knocking down anything, and when they get in there, AD's blocking everything. AD is getting these guys out the game. And shout out to, once again, Darvin Ham. Last night, Darvin Ham, in the last minute and 30 seconds of the game, or the last two possessions of the game, he had Anthony Davis checking Steph Curry. People forget that AD used to switch off at Kentucky all the time. AD switched off early on in his career all the time. He would stay on point guard. Stayed on the point guard last night, and those last two shots, Steph got a very good look the first time, and the second time was a bad shot. But guess who was guarding him on both those possessions? It was AD, and he did a phenomenal job, Maz. Hats off to AD, and hats off to Darvin Ham.
Hell yeah. You hit it on the button.
But there was another game last night, and it was involving a team, Maz, that you know all too well because it's where you're from. 1973 is the last time the New York Knickerbockers have won. And yes, I said it correct, unlike the Oakland Athletic commentator. Yeah. The New York Knickerbockers, it's 1973. Julius Randle, Jalen Brunson, they get out of the first round, and they have run into Jimmy Buckets in the second round.
Yep.
And man, Maz, they do not look good.
Nope.
When we get back, I want to talk about something that Julius Randle said at the podium after the game. They lost. As a New Yorker, how would that sit with you? But first, a message from Lady James.
Yes, walk into any Lady James for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically enter for your chance to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice, courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. That's right, 2 cars, one for you, one for your wife, girlfriend, best bud, or of course, you can always give one to Spencer Raxler of the Heavyweights. You know he's hurting right now and needs a car. But Lady James, open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Big Boy Strawberry Fest has officially arrived, and we're here to show you the very best flavors of the season. Satisfy your sweet tooth with our deep-fried vanilla Oreos, strawberry hot fudge cake, and a slice of our classic strawberry pie. But that's not all. Cool off on a refreshing summer splash salad, or savor the flavors of our chicken Caesar wrap and strawberry bacon chicken wrap. And for breakfast lovers, don't miss out on our strawberry hotcakes or our mouth-watering red velvet waffle. Strawberry Fest is something for everyone. Celebrate the sweet season with us at Big Boy.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. We're back. Second segment of the show. Good afternoon to you guys on this beautiful Tuesday. We're sitting here talking about Julius Randle. Last night, the New York Knickerbockers lost another game. They're down 3-1. Frankly, to a team that shouldn't be there. They're playing 4 undrafted free agents. They're playing out of their mind. Jimmy Buckets has these guys rocking and rolling. Jimmy Butler is the third best player in the playoffs right now. They're doing things that they shouldn't do. But it's not about that. It's not about that.
It's about their coach, too, by the way.
Ooh.
They got a hell of a coach.
Eric Spoelstra. Eric Spoelstra does not get the credit he deserves. If you're talking about this, they're going to the Eastern Conference Finals for the third time in 4 seasons. They may go to the finals for the third time in 4 seasons. Eric Spoelstra does not get the credit he's due, but right now it is about one player, that player, Julius Randle. Julius Randle, who, by the way, man, in the last 3 years in the playoffs, if you add players that have played 100 minutes or more, Julius Randle has the worst field goal percentage, shooting 31%. He has the worst field goal percentage in this year's playoffs. Julius Randle last night fouled out with 20 points in the most pivotal game for the New York Knickerbockers because they needed that game. They're down 2-1. You don't want Jimmy Buckets going up 3-1. Just that. But after the game, man, he said something, and this is where I want to open the phone lines up. What's the phone line number we got? It's 313-552-6322. We're going to open those phone lines up because I want fans to react to this. If this was a Detroit Piston or this was a Detroit Lion and he had this to say, how would you take it? Maz, Julius Randle says maybe they wanted more. And then he went on to say something else about this has been it all season, yada, yada, yada. Jalen Brunson asked the same question. He said, what do you guys need to fix going into Game 5? He said, everything. Short answer, I got to be better. We got to be better. That's how you answer it. Maz, as a New Yorker, as a Knicks fan, someone, your main player says, maybe they wanted more. How are you feeling as a player? I mean, how are you feeling as a fan?
All right, this is how I took it. I took it maybe a little bit different than you. I think he might have called out his team, and maybe you don't like that. Hey, you played the game, I didn't. But let's just go back to the old days, my days. If Walt Frazier said that about Willis Reed and the rest of those guys on the old Knicks, that wouldn't have flew. But this isn't that team. This isn't a team like the 2004 Pistons. I always compared the 73 Knicks to the 2004 Pistons. They're 2 of my all-time favorite teams because they played together as a team. They go from 1 down to 11. Any guy you put in there, any combination you put in there, it worked. This Knicks team is a flawed team. I think, thank God they won the first round because they haven't won a playoff, and I don't remember the last time. I know it's only a few years ago, 4 or 5, maybe up to 10 years ago, but it feels like it's an eternity. I was 11 years old when they won the championship, so you can take a look at me now. But as far as what he said, maybe they wanted more. Maybe he was just trying to motivate his team, and that's how he thought he should say it. Because maybe he tried to get to them on the timeouts and tried to talk to them through the game, and they weren't listening, and they let that game get away. The Heat wanted more. You could see the Heat wanted more. I don't think they're more talented than the Knicks. I just think they wanted more.
He didn't say individually that specific game. And the problem is, this is how I took it is how he said it. If I'm being honest, how I took it is how he said it. He said maybe they wanted more. When he said they want it, when I think it, I put it all together. Maybe they want to win the series more than we do. Maybe they want to get to the finals more than we do. Maybe they wanted more. I took it as that's what it meant. But my thing is, man, it's even bigger than that. Julius Randle is the biggest star on the New York Knicks team. Julius Randle makes the most money on the New York Knicks team. Julius Randle has the most All-Stars on the New York Knicks team. Julius Randle is supposed to be the guy that you go to in the clutch. He's supposed to be the guy that finds a way, whether it's getting the rebound that you need, whether it's finding the assist that you need, whether it's providing the energy, the spark, getting under guys. You saw how Jason Hart was yelling at Brunson 2 games ago. He got after him, and that's why they won that game. Now, Jason Hart's another guy that can't shoot right now, but you are the star of the team. You can't make that's quitting. You have basically already said in your mind,
you're right about that.
I am in the Bahamas, I am Turks and Caicos, I am in Bali, I am in somewhere that is not going to be in Madison Square Garden on this coming this coming Wednesday. That's a guy that quit, and as a guy that played for the New York Jets, and I understand how those New York fan bases can be. If I would have said some crap like that after an AFC championship game, I would have never been allowed to play for the Jets again.
Well, the thing is, after an AFC championship game the season's over. The Knicks here still got a chance to win this series. I don't think they will.
It's kind of like Shaq last night.
But they have a chance. They have a chance to win the series still. It's not over yet. They do go home now. They pissed the game away, game 1 at the Garden. They need to win this one. Backs against the wall, the whole 9 yards. We'll see what they come out with. But Tom Thibodeau's got something to do about this too.
Thibodeau,
head coach.
But this is what Tom Thibodeau does. Tom Thibodeau's a guy that typically gets those guys going defensively. That's why he was hired. He was hired to get those guys going in line.
Then he gets canned.
And that's how they played during the regular season. But you know what happens too? Another thing with Julius Randle, and I know I won't spend too time talking about the New York Knicks. This isn't New York. This is Detroit. And we do got some Dan Campbell stuff for you. But with the New York Knicks, they are an overachieving, hardworking team during the season. They work hard. They play every game. You look at Julius Randle. Julius Randle is a guy that gives extra effort. All NFL stars all NBA stars don't give effort every night. We know it's 82 games. We know they pick and choose their spots depending on who they're playing, depending on what city they are. And if they're in Miami, look for them to lose because they probably went out the night before and had a good time. They don't play all 82 games. Well, Julius Randle is a guy that plays a lot of those games. He plays serious. He gives you that energy. In the playoffs, the great players, man, you know what they do? They turn into playoff mode. Yeah. I don't think Julius Randle and those stars at the
wasn't the first time they've been in the playoffs in a long time. Maybe they don't know what they're doing.
No, 2 years ago they got swept. They got knocked out by Trae Young.
Yeah,
you can't.
I remember that.
It was another time with Julius Randle. He let those guys down. 100%. He let them down.
How many more years does he have on his deal?
2.
Right, maybe he ain't the guy.
2. Maybe he isn't.
Maybe he's not the guy.
Or maybe he is.
Time to turn the page on him.
Well, let's turn the page in this conversation. Look, Dan Campbell tells Jake Long, green light, that Hooker will learn under Goff. What do you think about that, man?
I know. Jake Long and his podcast, The Green Light, we heard about this yesterday. They had him on as a guest. Let's hear from Dan Campbell on the Jake Long podcast.
How about Jared Goff with the addition of Hendon Hooker? I feel like Jared Goff, from the little bit I've been around him and a lot of mutual teammates from L.A., speak so highly of him. You can tell he seems like the right guy to bring in a rookie quarterback with because he's going to have the right attitude and he's going to bring that guy along. What went into that thought process for y'all?
Yeah, we always, we did go into this offseason saying that we wanted to bring in some competition at quarterback. Yep. We didn't know exactly where that might be, who that would be at the time. But we did like Hooker. We knew he was coming off the injury, but there was something about him that was appealing. He's very mature. He looks the part. He's got a big arm. He's got to learn how to play in the NFL. But he's a pro now, and I like the fact that he was older. We all kind of like the fact he was older. I think you want your quarterback to be a little bit more mature. They got a lot on their plate. So, but to that point, to be able to get him where we did, we traded back twice, and we were still able to acquire him. We felt like that was everything played out just the right way for us. We were excited. And to your point, yes, Goff is going to handle it well. I mean, he knew Brad had called him, and he's great. And he'll help this guy just learn and grow. And really, this is a redshirt year for him. He's got to get this leg right first, and then he'll learn under Jared, and then let's see what happens, if he can eventually become your 2 or maybe down the road later on. It's more than that, but it's going to be a long time.
And we do apologize. That was Chris Long, University of Virginia Cavalier. That wasn't Jake Long, who went to the University of Michigan. So basically, it sounds like Jared Goff's training his replacement.
Well, yeah, but it's not going to be a while. You heard Dan Campbell. He's like, yeah, maybe down the road. It's going to be a while. It's going to be a long time. He's not saying that this guy is replacing Jared Goff. He's going to see where he goes. If Jared Goff wins this year, he's going to get his new contract. We've been talking about this for how long?
We've been starting in 2021.
If he keeps winning, he's going to get a new deal. That's the way I look at it. Hendon Hooker, I think, would be great if he can develop into that quarterback. You think he's got the quarterback number 12. He's got that number. We'll see how good he does. This is a red shirt year. They're going to take it easy on him. The ACL should heal up by the time the season starts. Yeah. But I don't think they're going to be using him at all this year.
I'll play devil's advocate just for the sake of what happens in 2024. What happens in 2024? We know Jared Goff is going to be the quarterback this year. We foresee Jared Goff winning the NFC North for the Detroit Lions and winning the NFC North for the Detroit Lions. We see them going far in the playoffs, and a lot of people even see them in the NFC Championship with a chance to challenge to get to the Super Bowl. So that's what we intend out of Jared Goff. But then that season's over, man. Then that season becomes over. And then you have to ask yourself, are you really trying to pay Jared Goff $250 million over 5 years?
Right.
Over 4 years? Are you trying to pay Jared Goff $215 million over 4 years or 5 years? Are you trying to play a guy that you still are scratching your head in the middle of the night thinking, can Jared Goff beat Patrick Mahomes? Can Jared Goff beat Aaron Rodgers?
He beat him on that Monday night game.
And this is absolutely true.
Long time ago.
With Todd Gurley in the backfield.
Yeah.
With Todd Gurley in the backfield. Are you going to be having that conversation? Meanwhile, you got Hendon Hooker in the stables. He's learning, just like Dan Campbell said at interview in that piece. He's learning under Jared Goff. He's understanding our offense. He's a guy that can he's mobile. Excuse me. He's a quarterback that's mobile, but he doesn't scramble to run. He scrambles to still pass the ball. Training him for a year. Now you got this guy ready. He's battle tested. Your team is where you want. And then you can insert this guy for a cheap fee, which you guys love, not spending any money, and kind of plug and place. Are you really going to pay Jared Goff even if he has success, Maz?
Well, let's see how far. Let's see how deep he could take the Lions this year. But if the Lions make the playoffs, they win a division, they win a game, I think they re-sign him. I truly do. I'm not sure if they're going to give him $50 million, but maybe they give him a 3-year short-term deal like Geno Smith got with the Seahawks. That I could see. Okay. But Hendon Hooker is a third-round guy, so you don't have that 5th-year option. So you're going to have to redo his contract if he becomes successful like Jalen Hurts does.
Which means you got to play him.
The line. Yeah, you got to play him to see how good he is. But I'm just interested in this year. We put all our eggs in the basket here. Jared Goff, we built everything around him. Jahmyr Gibbs going to be the new running back.
Yep.
Jamison Williams going to come back in Week 7, fingers crossed. And Marvin Jones is over here. We got that great defense and the great defense. The rebooted defense. The rebooted defense.
It looks a lot better on paper right now. It looks a lot better on paper.
It looks great on paper. So we'll see how it goes, man. One step at a time.
Understood. I agree. JB, let me bring it to you. What do you think is going to happen as far as you hear the comments? Dan Campbell, he's talking about bringing him on along slowly. Looks like it's going to take a while. I don't think that to be the case. What say you, Jared Goff?
I don't think it's going to take that long for Hendon Hooker to get the learning curve in the NFL. As you said, Braylon, I think they brought in Hooker, and Goff knows that he's basically training his replacement. He's probably got a good maybe 2 years, if that. As Matt said, if he goes out here and balls out and performs and does well, then you can come back to the table for this extension. But it'll probably only be for the next 2 years, and you're not going to get $50 million like everyone is assuming he might get. You'll get anywhere from maybe 40, 42, something like that, just to, stay on the roster. But who knows? There might become a trade involved where, hey, Jared Goff is a very good, decent quarterback. If any other franchise or team needs him, he's available. You could easily get a second and a third for him, I think, if the time does come to that.
And that's why I think
he's only 28, right?
Hey, you knock it out.
That's what I keep remembering.
Hey, you cut it out over there, man. But the thing, he's 25.
No. I'm talking about
Jared Goff.
I'm talking about Goff.
Oh, okay.
Goff's only 28.
I was going to say Hendon Hooker's 28 as well.
Yeah, no.
I'm just joking.
But that's years.
But that's the good thing about it. I think for the topic of conversation, we open it up for conversation and talk about Jared Goff and next year and what's going to happen, and he's going to get a 4-year deal. Well, we live in that world of speculation, asking questions, and we'll take it to a break in a second. But we live in that world of speculation, man. You know why? It's because we can talk about it. We can sit here and ask about it because there's nothing else to talk about.
That's right.
This is great stuff to talk about. But frankly put, there are millions of ways in which Brad Holmes, when the time comes, can make a move. Like you said, JB, maybe they trade him somewhere and he pick up somebody else. Maybe they pay him and restructure his deal like the Seattle Seahawks did Geno Smith. Maybe they restructure kind of like the extension was done for quarterback saying Jordan Love with the Green Bay Packers. There are ways in which to do a deal and still bring Hendon Hooker on along, having plans to play him. So let's do this. Let's take a quick break.
Yep.
Let's talk about the NFL and when you get back.
You got it, man.
Yeah, we'll see you guys in about 30 seconds or more.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
So, it looks like, I apologize, I got excited. We're talking about the NFL schedule. Got a little excited. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Ryan's not with us today. Our prayers are, though. He will be back tomorrow. Maz?
Yes,
sir. The NFL schedule looks like it's coming out, brother.
It looks like they're going to iron out all the problems they were talking about. And it looks like it's coming out on Thursday, which is great news for us because we got something to look forward to. And there's going to be some changes to the schedule. And Adam Schefter tweeted them out, and I'll read them out to you. The NFL is going to, of course, have the Black Friday game. First time ever for that. Games do not necessarily belong to the networks anymore. So all games are free agents. That means NFC is not only on Fox, and the AFC is not only on CBS. They're going to share both, which I hate because I like my NFC games on Fox. I like my AFC games on CBS. They've been doing that little by little, but you're going to see more of it coming up. Teams can be on Thursday Night Football, not once, but twice. And not all teams are guaranteed a primetime spot. Remember last year and all the years prior?
You got to get
each team's got to get on. So that's why Thursday Night Football always came in.
Right.
And they put, before the Jags were good, you'd see the Jags. You'd see the Titans. You'd see the Texans. You'd see the Lions. Yeah. Now, they don't have to put you on prime time. Remember last year for the Lions? You guys forget this. Last year was so good for the Lions. All their games were at what time? 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. Everything was under the radar. They really, literally, they snuck up on teams last year. And they had the perfect scenario. I've been telling you guys this from the get-go. If they had only made the playoffs last year, who the hell knows how far they could have went. Yes, that's right, Jim Mora. How far they could have went. Now, they're not sneaking up on anyone anymore, Bray.
Here you go. First and foremost, what we learned about this, the NFL are pimps. They do what the hell they want to do. They say, hey, to the highest bidder, this is what we're going to do. So that's what it feels like for the NFL. No, but all jokes aside, that basically means we don't care about what anybody has to go through. We don't care about your schedule. We don't care where you play a game at. We don't care where you're coming from. We don't care where your last game was, when your last game was. And also with the 12 o'clock stuff, that's how you sneak up on teams, Ryan. Excuse me, Mass. I'm used to it. It's a habit to look to my left and say that. My apologies.
Wish you was here too.
But that's how. I wish you're fine. That's how you sneak up on teams, though. Nobody likes that 12 o'clock game. Nobody likes that 1 o'clock game. When you travel, and when I played in Seattle, every place is 2 hours or more. When you're traveling, it's the travel is annoying. Then you get some team that has to play a 1 o'clock game. You got to get there, try to get adjusted to the time. You got to get your practice in, got to get your meetings in, try to get your meals in, try to go through your regular routine, and you can't. That's why a lot of those 1 o'clock games are the upset game. But with the Detroit Lions now, they won't be playing those 1 o'clock games. I'm telling you, you look at that schedule, they're going to have, and we talked about it. You said 4.
Yeah.
I think Ryan said 4. I said 5.
Prime timers.
I'm sticking to 5. This is the team.
So Thanksgiving plus 4, you're saying?
2, I think Thanksgiving. Then you get 2. You get 2 Monday nights. You get a Sunday night. You get a Thursday night. Yeah. I think you get 5 games out of that, man. But look forward to that, seeing that season.
You know, we're going to start seeing the schedule leaks coming out any time now. And we already talked about the NFL Europe games and the games that are in Germany. And the Kansas City Chiefs, I guess they might have ironed out the problem. They said they did not want to play the Bears in that Germany game. So we'll see who is going to play in Germany. Could it still be the Detroit Lions going to Germany to play Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs?
Well, at least Amon-Ra St. Brown is happy. We saw that he was excited. He actually was disappointed when he thought that they were no longer in play to go overseas. Now he's excited probably. Fletch, do me a favor. Put that graphic back up just about the rules that they changed. Matt, I want to ask you some questions.
Yeah.
What do you think about this NFL Black Friday game? Are you excited? And we know any football for you, you're excited. What do the fans have to look
I'm the
forward
wrong
to?
guy to ask. I'm happy.
What makes you happy about the Black Friday game?
Oh, man, that's just something to look forward to. After Thanksgiving, you get 3 games on Thanksgiving, and now you're like, we got to wait till Sunday now for the next game. No, you got a game the very next day. And I'm just wondering what time they're going to put it on. I'm thinking
it's one game?
I'm thinking they're going to put it on like late afternoon, dinner time.
They got to let you, even though no one leaves the house, you can leave it up in the back wall because I want to ask another question, Fletch. Even though no one leaves the house anymore to go shopping on Black Friday.
They still do, but not as much.
Exactly. People still go out. People still shop. So I would think 3:30 maybe. 3:30, maybe 5.
Yeah.
Somewhere
in that hour.
So maybe just 4. Maybe just say 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock game. That's fine.
Okay.
I know. I'd be looking forward to it, man. That'd be great. Then after that, you go out to dinner again.
But after that, you've had a couple glasses of wine. You've watched the game. You've eaten probably 3 times.
One team is not going to be on Black Friday. It's the Lions, and it's the Cowboys because they play on Thanksgiving. Everyone else, it's up there, man. It's up for grabs.
Now, what other these rules? What these schedule changes? What among these changes do you actually like, or you do not like? Or you feel the type of way about
I don't like the AFC, NFC games getting switched off. I like
Fox.
I like
NFC,
Fox.
AFC is CBS.
I like Fox doing the NFC games, and I like CBS doing the AFC games. And, of course, the Sunday night game, that could be, that's a farm-out game anyway. So I'm not going to really love that I'm going to be able to see the Lions on CBS instead of the Lions on Fox more. Those are the little things that bother me because I like announcers. Yeah. I think Fox has much better announcers than CBS does.
They do, because you know what's funny, what I noticed? And 100%. Growing up, NFC has always been on Fox. Once it
was on CBS. I was a kid. It was CBS and NBC.
Okay, but that was a long time ago. I'm talking when I was a kid. It was NFC with the robot.
Yeah,
it was the Fox robot. So I got used to seeing that. I fell in love with the NFC team. I hated watching CBS at 3:30 or 4 o'clock because the announcers were always boring. That's nap time.
I know, but you got Jim Nance and Romo, which is a good.
They made up for it.
They don't make up for it. And you got Iron Eagle. Yeah. I'm not sure who he's going to be with. Maybe Tiki Barber, Rondé Barber. Not sure who the heck he's going to be with.
You know what's funny too, and we'll get back into the other schedule changes. As a kid, I enjoyed the color schemes of the NFC more. So even the NFC color schemes were better to me. Like when you have to watch an AFC game and you're looking, even though Jaguars' uniform were clean, I was like, okay, you guys probably had the cleanest uniforms in the city. It's like the Patriots' uniforms were horrible. I hated Buffalo; they stunk. I hated the Dolphins, minus the Dolphin. Like it's like the AFC uniforms. I hated Denver because they were just so far away. I hated the Cleveland Browns. The Kansas City Chiefs I always loved the arrow. Always loved the logo, but I didn't like the Chiefs. I love the Vikings. Like I love the Bears. I love the Lions. Vikings. I love the Falcons.
Do you remember Joe Cap at all?
That's Cap.
Joe Cap. You never remember Joe Cap? He used to be a quarterback for the Vikings. Took him to Super Bowl 4.
Okay.
He passed away today.
He did
at the age of 85.
Yeah. I know Fran Tarkenton.
I know. So this was before your time.
Fran's older than
Joe Cap was before your time.
Who's older, Joe or Fran?
Joe.
Oh, yeah, Fran's like the 70s.
Yeah, he's in the 70s. scrambling man, Fran Tarkin. He used to be a New York Giant. Then he got traded over to the Vikings. Took him to many playoffs and a couple of Super Bowls, but they are 0-4 in the big game. But Joe Cap took them, Minnesota, to their first Super Bowl. So rest in peace, big old Joe. Joe Cap, at 85 years old, passes away. You know who else passed away today? It was in basketball. In basketball. A college coach. Oh, my God. How can it just – Denny Crum passed away today. Former Louisville head coach.
How long
Denny
ago was
Crum
this?
passed away. Today. 2 deaths today.
How long ago did he play?
I don't know. He was their coach.
When did he coach?
20 years ago?
Okay.
20 years ago. You never heard of Denny Crum?
So before Patino.
Yeah.
I believe, maybe, probably.
He's up there. He'll be on. He'd be Dick Vitale, good buddy of his in that era. So a couple of bad deaths today in sports. Had to bring those up.
Teams can be on Thursday Night Football twice. How will that affect teams this season? 17 games, you can be on twice. What if you're on 2 Thursday night games? So your schedule gets jacked up twice during the season. What do you think?
Well, you're better off to tell me about this because I don't know how the players react to it. I do know that most of these players do not like playing on Thursday night games. They don't like that short turnaround. Obviously, the NFL's working on that schedule, maybe give you the extra time off and all of that to play on that Thursday night.
The problem with this, Maz, this is going to affect teams more than you know. I would scrap this one. And this is why I would scrap it. When you play on Thursday and then you have to play again on Sunday or Monday, what happens is it's a short week followed by a long week, and it usually takes 3 games to get back in rhythm. So if you play Sunday night, now you're on a Thursday game. So now your schedule completely changes. So as opposed to regularly, what you have off, you come in Monday, you're off on Tuesday, first practice Wednesday, the hard practice Thursday, third down, blah, blah, blah. When you go on Thursday right after a Sunday night game, okay, so now you don't have Monday off anymore. Monday is we kind of talk about the game, and we kind of install the game plan for the next game. Then Tuesday is a practice. Wednesday
instead of an off day.
Then Wednesday becomes a travel day, so you only get 1 practice day. Wednesday becomes the travel day if you have to travel. Yeah. It's the worst. And then after you play Thursday, then you're off Friday, you come and watch a little film. Coach usually gives you off. You take the weekend off. You come back Monday, ease into the week. Now you got a long time before you play the next game.
Right.
Then you're talking about doing that twice in the season. It takes 3 games to recover from that schedule, and you're talking about doing it twice. That's going to throw somebody off and cost them some games.
Well, we're going to see who the unlucky team is that has to play on 2 Thursdays. I bet you the Lions are going to be one of those teams because they play Thursday Thanksgiving,
right?
And I bet you they'll play on a Thursday night game. So I bet you your Lions are the reason that rule is in place right there.
Yeah.
Lions on a Thursday night, Lions on Thanksgiving. That's 2 Thursdays.
Well, I hope not. I hope not for the Lions' sake, because I'm telling you, man, that's a 6-game turnaround for that season. Anybody that goes through that, that's going to be tough. And then, obviously, you mentioned that not all teams are guaranteed to have a primetime spot. That's not the Detroit Lions anymore.
Nope. Thursday night, we're going to find out exactly what the scoop is. And, we're going to break it down for you and do all our guesses coming up on Thursday. And tomorrow we got a pretty big show coming up. We got a special guest coming up tomorrow. 2 special guests on the show tomorrow that we will tease to you a little bit later. But coming up here after the break, our good buddy Lindsey Hunter, because there's rumors out there that the Pistons are about to sign a new coach. And guess what 1 week from tonight is, Braylon? 1 week from tonight.
Does it have anything to do with the Detroit Pistons getting better?
Yes, it does. It's the draft lottery.
There we go.
And now the Red Wings got screwed. Let's hope the Pistons do not get screwed. We're going to have more.
We got to talk about how the Red Wings are screwed at some point today. That is freaking year. Every freaking year the Red Wings are screwed. They have never moved up. They have only moved down. Jeez Louise.
Yep, and we're going to go over it. They lead the league in most losses over the last 7 seasons. And we're going to go over all of that and more. But Lindsey Hunter coming up after the break. Keep it right here on Woodward Sports.
But first, a message from Guardian Alarm.
Yes, that's right. Customized solutions from real experts. Their professional technicians take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. With 24/7 professional monitoring, you can call anytime, day or night, and know that a Guardian team member will stay on the phone with you as long as needed. Your safety and security deserves technology that's been proven to work by people who are proven to care. Call this number right here, 1-800-STAY-OUT. One more time, it's 1-800-STAY-OUT. And let them know Woodward Sports sent you.
Stay out.
get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
We're back with Maz. What's going on, brother?
Hey, man, I got some news for you. You know Sham Charania, one of the best NBA insiders out there.
I do.
ESPN's own. He says the Pistons have narrowed down their coaching search to 3 men. And these guys we've kind of talked about: Kevin Ollie, Jaron Collins, and Charles Lee. Let's hear from Shams.
The Pistons will be hiring a new head coach as soon as this week. Those are the 3 finalists right there. Kevin Ollie, former UConn coach, overtime elite coach. He spent time with Troy Weaver, the GM of the Pistons, in OKC. They were there together for 1 season. Jaron Collins, Pelicans assistant coach. He is also a finalist for this position. He will interview tomorrow. Kevin Ollie today. Charles Lee, the associate head coach of the Milwaukee Bucks under Mike Budenholzer, who was fired. He will interview in front of Tom Gores, the owner, on Wednesday. So expect the Pistons to really hone in and narrow down from these 3 guys to potentially make a hire here soon.
You heard him. Sham says it's down to these 3 men. They're all getting interviewed. Matter of fact, Jaron Collins had a face-to-face interview with Tom Gores himself. Charles Lee, the Bucks associate head coach under Mike Budenholzer, he got fired now. So Charles Lee, maybe he gets the Bucks job, or maybe he takes this Pistons job. Who's your favorite coming in here?
Coming into it right now is Charles Lee. Charles Lee is the guy they've been talking about for the last couple of years. He's been under Mike Budenholzer, helped them have success. You see what the Milwaukee Bucks have done. I mean, you saw what they did this year, so maybe that's a reason not to lean in that direction. But with Mike Budenholzer getting fired, I just got to believe that Charles Lee's going to be the guy that ascends up. Now, I could be wrong. I myself, let me see, who's the guy? Who do you think?
I don't know, but the guy that can know more than us is Lindsey Hunter. Our own Lindsey Hunter. That's right. Former number 1, first round pick for the Detroit Pistons back in the day. Back when I first started radio. This was the man. Right, Lindsey? He was it. There he is. Lindsey, what's up, my friend?
What's up, my guys?
Hey, man, we just heard from Sham Charania, and he says,
Sham Sharp?
Yeah, the Pistons are about to hire a head coach. He gave 3 names out: Kevin Ollie, Jaron Collins, and Charles Lee. What do you know about these men, and who would you pick of those 3 guys?
I know Kevin really well. I know Jared just from kind of playing against him and watching him in his career. I don't know Charles Lee that well. I've seen him around on the bench. I was familiar with Milwaukee when Darvin was still there. But personally, for me, of course, Kevin Ollie seems to be a great fit. Watching what he did in college, I know he doesn't have that much pro experience, but the league is, especially our Piston team, we're like a college team as young as we are. So I think that would be a good fit for us. And I like his demeanor. I like Kevin's always been a pro's pro. And I think that's what you need to kind of help these young guys develop.
Your name on this list, but I guess we'll wait again. And I just want to know if you've had a chance to talk to Troy and the Piston brass and get your feeling on where they're going, where they want to go, and what they're looking forward to doing.
Well, I've talked to a couple of people. When you get a new regime in, everybody wants to do things their way, and rightfully so, because you want to build the team the way, if you're going to fail or if you're going to succeed, you want it done your way, and everybody should have that right. I've always, Detroit is my heart. I was drafted here. I've lived here my entire pro career, after my pro career. So we all want the Pistons to do well. And, for me, like I said, personally, I think Kevin Ollie would make the best coach for us at this time. Who knows who they'll pick? Who knows which direction they'll go in? But hey, man, hopefully whoever gets the job, we can support them and hopefully we can get that number 1 pick and make it easy on everybody.
Opportunity, the most percentage of getting it, 14% of getting that first pick. The furthest they could fall down is to the 5th pick. We just saw what happened to the Red Wings last night. They had a chance to move up from 9th to move up like the Chicago Blackhawks did. The Blackhawks had an 11% chance, and they won the damn lottery. The the Red Wings had a 5% chance, and they stayed right where they are at 9. What's your take? What's your feeling on where the Pistons are going to land here with this lottery? I hate the damn lottery.
Yeah, man, we've talked about this extensively, man. It's a tough situation because you really have no control over it. You just basically are sitting here waiting and praying that they don't call your name until the last one. That's basically what we're doing. I don't know, man. I hope that we can get that first pick. I think if whoever gets that first pick is going to be it has the capabilities of being a franchise changer. And that's what you want in any draft. And we got the opportunity. Hopefully the ping pong ball falls our way. You never know, man. I've seen some strange things happen in these lottery situations. Like, coincidentally, LeBron was number 1 in Cleveland. Coincidentally, Derrick Rose was number 1 in Chicago.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully the coincidental thing happens to us.
Yeah, 100%. Look, I was over here trying to fix my audio system. I can hear you a little better now. Let me get back to the Kevin Ollie question, big bro. Kevin Ollie is a guy that won at the college level. Kevin Ollie is a guy that played at the highest level. And Kevin Ollie is a guy that is known for the fundamentals. He breaks down the game in such a way that he teaches the players, they understand it. That's why he was so good at UConn. Could that be what the Detroit Pistons need out of a coach? Now, I understand Dwayne Casey was good at that too. But Kevin Ollie's younger. He connects, and you know how it is to be able to connect to an individual that's not that much older than you, that you can say, oh, man, we may listen to similar music. Maybe we watch similar movies, but also I listen to him. I can listen to the game from this guy. Could that be Kevin Ollie?
I think so. I really think so. I think, he can connect with this generation. I think he's not far removed from coaching at a high level. I think he was in the G League or something last year coaching. So he's been involved in with these type of youngsters. So I think it's a great fit. Personally, I think it's a great fit. Hopefully, the brass feels the same way. I think Kevin can get it done. And especially if we can get that number 1 pick, man, it'll be a great opportunity for him.
Liz, I want to ask you another question. Last night, Julius Randle, who has not played at all well for the New York Knickerbockers. In fact, in the last 3 seasons, if you're talking about the playoffs, 100 minutes or more, he has a worse shooting percentage of anyone. All 162 players that have played in the playoffs, he is dead last. In the playoffs this year, his field goal percentage is dead last, and that's including Jordan Poole. And that's including what Jordan Poole has done in the playoffs. Simply put, last night he fouled out. Hasn't lived up to the moniker. He's making the most on that team. He's the star for the New York Knicks. But it ain't even about that. At the press conference yesterday, at that podium, Lindsey, he sits up there as he's playing the worst of anybody on his team as a star. He says to the New York or the Miami media, but it has to travel back to New York. He says, maybe they wanted more. Lindsey, as a guy that's won 2 championships, as a guy that's won in L.A. with Kobe and Shaq, as a guy that won here with the going-to-work Pistons, as a guy that's been around Grant Hill, you've been around the guys that have played at the highest of the high. How would that conversation go over after Julius Randle makes a comment like that, after you're down 3-1 to a team that doesn't even have 4 guys that got drafted playing? They got 1 guy in Jimmy Butler.
Man, that's a tough situation. You would hope that one of your main leaders of your team, his mentality would be different, because the first thing you would hope that he would do is take responsibility for his poor play. You know, I think when you do things like that, that's a sure sign of maturity and a sign of leadership. And obviously, he's lacking both. And if that's how he's feeling, and I'm sure Tibbs and some of his teammates are going to talk to him about it, but if that's his mindset, then they might as well not even play the next couple of games, because it's a wrap, because I think Jimmy's going to send him home anyway.
He's going to send him home too.
You can't go into a series, even regardless to the situation. You're down 3-1 or whatever. You can't be talking that way knowing that you still have an opportunity. I remember, playing in situations where it was bleak for us, but not one person on our team felt like we couldn't come back and win. And most of the time we did. So that's a bad look for him. It's a bad look for the Knicks, and it's not a good sign for the future.
No, it's not, man. And Braylon's having trouble with his headset again, so I'll chat you up on this. We talked about it a little bit earlier. I took it a couple of different ways. I took it a little bit of a different way. I took it, but him saying what he said was to maybe motivate his team. Maybe his team was not responding to the way he was trying to get him going, get him through this game.
Man, he's not responding.
Thank you, Lindsey. That's what I tried to tell him. Thank you.
How the hell is he going to tell his team to respond when he's out there looking like trash?
Then you got to bench him next game then. Bench him.
Right. Well, Tibbs has done that in the past. So maybe that's the answer.
But maybe they can use Lonnie Walker, the fourth, instead. How about Lonnie Walker?
But then the problem becomes, if you bench him, it's like you're already down 3-1 to a team you have no business being down 3-1 to. If you bench Julius Randle, who has size, typically when we think of the taller guys, the bigger guys, we think bigger, stronger, winner, dominant, and that's not what's happening. So if you bench him, I just don't know where you get the size in the paint, and I think you guys will eat it. But man, Lonnie Walker, the fourth, Lindsey. Yeah. Everybody's talked about LeBron James, rightfully so. Everybody's talked about AD, rightfully so, how he played at the end of the season. Not so much in the second games, although finally he put a back-to-back game together. Nobody is talking about the guy who is making the adjustments and putting them in a situation to make this happen. Talk about Darvin Ham putting in Lonnie Walker the fourth in the fourth quarter, how it affected that game.
Well, it's funny you talk about that. Me being on that situation, me being a guy that started for a while and then me being a guy coming off the bench, knowing him being ready was the biggest thing, and me watching how he prepared. They showed some clips of him preparing for the game, and man, it's a breath of fresh air when you see a guy like that hadn't played, that fell out of the rotation, that was thrusted in at crunch time and showed up and showed out, and Darvin having the confidence to make that chest move. Man, that on both scales, for him being prepared and Darvin having the guts to put him in the game and let him roll. Because most guys are going to go back with their starters regardless. Darvin let him roll, and man, it paid huge dividends, because without Lonnie Walker doing what he did, the Warriors win that game. And I think nobody will argue that.
What do you think about that series going forward now, Linz? I just can't. I don't think my stomach can handle the Lakers winning that series. I just can't. Help me.
Hey, look. I think the Warriors win the next game at home. And then I think it's a toss-up coming back. I just want to see Game 7. That's all I want to see.
I would love to see a Game 7 as well. I would. That would be great. What do you think the NBA wants? What do you think the NBA's dream final would be?
Man, dream finals? Oh.
Yeah.
Man, that's hard to say. I think.
You want to think about it? You want me to tell you what it is?
What is it?
It's got to be Joel Embiid and the Philadelphia 76ers, and I tell you why.
Against who?
It's LeBron and the Lakers. And it's because of the narrative. Everything is about the narrative nowadays in sports. And right now, who is the narrative in professional basketball? It's LeBron James. 14th place in the West going to right after NBA All-Star break. Gets all the way, then he gets injured. They go from 13th, LeBron injured, to him being in the play-in, to them losing the first round of the play-in. Losing the first game of the play-in, to now winning the first series against the Grizzlies, who said that they were good in the West, who have Ja Morant, who's the new stud. So now it's the story, it's the road, it's the path. He beat Ja Morant. Now he gets to go against who? None other than his nemesis in the playoffs, Steph freaking Curry. Beat Steph Curry. Now he gets a chance to go against either Jokic or Kevin Durant. It's going to be Jokic, spoiler alert, but goes against one of them. Now he's going to beat Jokic, and now he gets a chance to beat Joel Embiid and win it all. You talk about narratives. He would have taken out the new guy in Ja Morant. He would have taken out Steph Curry, the only unanimous MVP winner of all time, and his nemesis. He would have taken out Jokic, back-to-back MVP winner, and then he would have beat the current MVP winner in Joel Embiid in the playoffs. LeBron's his legacy is fully cemented when you look at it that way.
That sounds really good, but I don't think the Warriors or the Lakers can beat Denver.
Hell no.
I don't think.
No.
I don't think either team
sounded
can
good.
beat Denver.
Hey, listen.
Because Jokic is just a monster, man. There is no answers for him, and if Murray continues to show up and continues to get sharp like he was, they're going to be tough. They're a tough out, and I don't see any of these teams in the West beating them in a 7-game series. Now, I do see Philadelphia or Boston. They have what it takes to beat them.
All right,
but
Lindsey, hold on. Looks like you about to get excited about Boston. Do me a favor. I apologize for cutting you off. Can we hold you over through the break? Because it looks like you about to get going on the road. Can we hold you over 2 seconds?
Yeah, for sure.
I appreciate that, big bro. Maz, tell us about Big Boy.
All right, Big Boy. You got Strawberry Fest coming up here. Of course, they are entrenched in it right now. So get on down there and try their classic breakfast items like the strawberry hot cakes or that beautiful mouth-watering red velvet waffle. If you're not feeling breakfast, try the strawberry bacon chicken wrap or a summer splash salad. Don't forget to grab dessert while you're there. Get that classic strawberry pie, the deep-fried vanilla Oreo, or the strawberry hot fudge cake. All that and more at Big Boy.
How would you like to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice? One for you and one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Get to Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut and automatically enter for your chance to win. Courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Back to Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, with special guest Lindsey Hunter joining us, friend of the studio. Lindsey, you're about to talk about the Boston Celtics. Talk about them, brother. There it is. What you over there, man? Cricket Wireless? Come on, Lynn.
Somebody calling me, man.
I'm messing with you.
Everybody want to call and talk about the game right now. I told them, leave my phone alone.
Man, tell them you were Woodward Sports right now, man.
Right.
Go ahead, brother. You got the floor.
Yeah, so I like I was saying, man, I think the Celtics and Philly really have the teams that could get it done, that could win the whole entire thing, along with Denver. I think it'll be a great series if we could get one of those against Denver in the finals. But as you know, Boston is finding out now it's not as easy to get back as they thought it was going to be. And Jason Tatum has been horrendous. Like, he can't be struggling from the floor and you know, to continue to get through the playoffs this way. Like, Jaylen Brown has been the man. Jaylen Brown, quiet as kept, has been the best player in the playoffs so far. And
whoa. No.
I'm talking about on Boston's team.
Okay. I was about to say, you ain't heard
he's been the best Celtic. He's been the best Celtic in the playoffs.
So let me ask this. That begs another question. This tends to happen in the playoffs when it comes to the Boston Celtics. Jason Tatum becomes the superstar in the regular season. He's the one that goes to the All-Star game. He's the one that starts. He's the one that balls. He's the ones on commercials. But then once it gets to the playoff, when things get hot, nitty-gritty, last year with Ime Udoka, who did he trust? It wasn't Jason Tatum. It was Jaylen Brown. And here we are again, now with Ime Udoka, with Mazawey. And what is he doing? He's trusting Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Is that a bigger issue?
I don't think so. I think it's a luxury. It's a luxury when you have, your best player in Jason Tatum and it's 1A and 1B. That's how I look at those guys.
It's a good
but
call.
the problem is going to be Jaylen Brown is probably going to make All NBA, which is going to qualify him for the Super Max.
Which means they got to let him go.
Either are you going to pay two guys the Super Max?
No.
They're going to have a big decision to make, and there's going to be a big market for Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, starting here.
I know where I would like to see him.
Yeah, right down this street called Woodward.
Exactly.
Just keep riding it south. Just keep riding south, and you'll run into something on the west side of the street. Yeah. It's called LCA.
Hey, Lindsey, I want to ask you about the other series. I want to ask you about Denver and Phoenix. The other night, Matt Ishbia gets involved with Jokic. What's your take on this whole thing? Did Ishbia win the Suns that game?
Yes, he helped.
Look, I don't know if he won that game, but this was the first thing that came to my mind was, what if that was Draymond Green that did that?
Yep, that's what I thought about too.
He'd be suspended automatically.
Why?
Because
he has a reputation and he's got a couple of black marks against him. This guy don't.
Oh, how fitting.
So we suspend guys because of their reputation.
Correct.
It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. You know how many people have overcome their reputation, If that's the case, you know what? Let me go on the record and tell you, when I was 12 years old, I got caught stealing in Target on John R. 14 Mile. You happy?
What'd you steal?
So not some basketball cards.
Oh,
now,
nice.
I had to pay off.
I tried stealing a Playboy magazine once when I was a kid.
Where'd you try to put it? In your pants? So am I a thief? Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to classify me as a thief for something that I did 28 years ago, by all means, and go ahead. Get over that reputation stuff. Every situation needs to be judged accordingly. They're all isolated incidents, according to the situation.
Right. Now, mind you, I don't ever want to see anybody suspended especially during the playoffs, because I like the game to be decided by the players, not by a situation that happened where a guy got suspended and now they're not full strength. Now they have a built-in excuse. I don't like that. So, I didn't like when Draymond got suspended for doing the A-Town stomp on my man's chest.
Oh, it's a bonus. I didn't like that either. He grabbed his ankle.
Yeah, he grabbed his ankle. So, hey, he gave him the Dominican through stomp.
Lindsey, I'm trying to tell guys, if you haven't played in the space, and this isn't to say if you haven't played professional sports, it has nothing to do with that. If you haven't been in a moment where you're trying to go somewhere else, or you're trying to do somewhere, so your mind's thinking somewhere, and someone grabs something that they're not supposed to do, or they hit you a certain way they're not supposed to hit you, or they do something to disrupt you, your mind is like, whoa, what the hell? And then you become fight or flight. You're going to grab my leg, and I'm trying to, man, you better get out of here with that. And next thing you know, you stumped on his chest. And he did stump on his chest. I am not saying he didn't, but he shouldn't have been kicked out of that game, or they both should have been kicked out of the game.
Right. I think it wouldn't have been so bad had he not jumped off of it. Like, if he would have just stomped him and kept walking, it would have been okay. But
his acting skills, they're terrible. They're horrible. They're horrible.
Hey, Lindsey.
He just jumped.
Lindsey, tell me what your thoughts are on Devin Booker right now.
Oh, man.
It's the best playoffs ever in 10 games. The best playoffs ever.
I think Jimmy Butler's been the best. I think Devin Booker's been a close second.
What?
Yes.
I come with numbers.
Well, let him talk. Let's hear what he's got to say.
I know, man. Relax. Damn.
I'm gonna give you a reason why. Because Jimmy Butler doesn't have Kevin Durant standing next to him. All right?
That's true.
All right.
Who's standing next to Jimmy?
Strus. Max Strus.
That's
Bam,
my point.
Bam Adebayo had 23 and 18 last night.
Duncan Robinson.
Yeah,
I know.
He ain't Kevin Durant. He ain't Kevin Durant. You're watching when Kevin Durant gets the ball, he's doubled. Now, I'm playing one-on-one. Yeah. And with a guy like, Booker, with the ability he has to make shots and create shots, man, that's a recipe for disaster for the defense, and that's what he's giving them.
I understand that, Lindsey, and this is why I would disagree with you. I would disagree with you because even though Kevin Durant is creating spacing for Devin Booker, he's allowing these shots. The fact that Devin Booker is shooting this well and they are still more scared or they're still more afraid of KD lets you know how good KD is. So I agree with you 100%. But just because you're open doesn't mean you knock the shot down. In the last 2 games, he is shooting 34 of 43. That is, what is that, 70%? And no, it's 70%. In the playoffs, he's 61% shooting. 79% in the last 2. 79% in the last 2 games. Lindsey, he's a 2-guard. This isn't like the last person that averaged 61% from the field, which was Shaq, which is all he's doing is dunking. 34 points he was averaging. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, 61 from the field. 30 points he was averaging. Devin Booker is a 2-guard. He's doing this on jump shots, 3 balls, and he's getting in the paint. He's not missing free throws. He's not missing 2 shots, and his field goal percentage is filthy. Even though Kevin Durant's on his team, nobody's ever had a playoffs like that. Last time it's even been close was Michael Jordan in the 1990-91 season.
But you all valid points.
Yeah.
But I ask you this. If you take Kevin Durant off that, those open shots and those one-on-ones will get a little more difficult.
Yeah.
They get a little more difficult. You don't have the space to play and go one-on-one and do what you do. So I'm telling you, without Kevin Durant out there, that field goal percentage dips.
Yeah, that's true. But is there any way that we could just make them even? Is there any? Because I'm not willing to come off Devin Booker and hop Willie's plan. But you're absolutely right.
You gotta look, but look, look at what Jimmy Buckets is doing with and what he's working with.
Yeah,
Jimmy Buckets is single-handedly willing a team with one other guy. Adebayo I really like him. He's a really, really good all-star. I give him all-star. That's it. Everybody else is like journeymen, guys that got cut, made the team. Jimmy Buckets is getting it done on both ends of the floor. And see, that's where I'm going to give Jimmy Buckets the edge because he's the best two-way player in the playoffs right now. Might be the best two-way player in the league.
I will say this, though. You throw something in there when you talk about the defensive side of the ball. He definitely is getting it on both ends of the floor. Ask Mass what I said before the playoffs. I did not say Jimmy Butler would get this far, but I did send out a tweet, and that tweet said, I don't care what you think about Jimmy in the regular season. Playoff Jimmy is a different bear. He's a different beast. He's a different guy, Mass.
He is, man. Hey, bring it back to the Pistons. 1 week from tonight, we bring back the lottery. First of all, Victor, without a doubt, is number 1. Am I correct? No matter who's picking?
Man, yes.
He will be number 1 in the next 50 drafts.
Okay. So if the Pistons, let's face it, we all know the Pistons are going to get screwed. So if they finish second or third, who are they taking? We just know it. So it is what it is. So tell me the best 2 and 3, and I know the names. I just want to know the differences. How far does it really fall down after number 1?
Man, look, because Victor's ceiling is, we don't know.
There is no ceiling.
Yeah, we don't know. Like, after him, I love Scoop, kid in the G League. I think he's young, he's strong, he's athletic, he can make plays, he can do everything. I like the kid out of Alabama.
Brandon.
I think those 2 after Victor are gonna, they're gonna fall 2, 3. After that, man, you're reaching for guys that are good players, and I'm sure there are gonna be some sleepers coming out of college, but man, it's gonna be tough after that to get an impactful guy right away.
So if the Pistons get Victor, what does that make them?
Oh, I think instantly they're a definite play-in game team, but I think they'll be borderline playoff team.
That much, one guy.
Yes, because I think people underestimate how much of an impact he'll have defensively. He's a natural shot blocker, naturally.
Wow.
He protects the rim, and when you got a guy that moves like that, I know everybody's worried about his size, but I think that'll happen over time as he gets older and more mature. But his skill set, offensively, he can stretch the floor, he can shoot the ball, the dude can play all 5 positions. I mean,
unbelievable.
I'm just curious to see him in an NBA setting, to see how he fits and if he can, some of the things that we see him doing can translate to the NBA. That's going to be the exciting part.
Hey, congrats to Jaden Ivey and Jalen Duren. They were named to the All-NBA second team on the rookie side there. What's your take on that? Could they have been a first-team entry?
Definitely. I think they got snubbed. I think, shucks, especially the way they played, the way they finished the season. They both should have been first-team consideration. But we are still not getting the respect we deserve. And I think when we get this first pick and we get Victor in here, then we'll demand our respect.
Sounds good, man.
All right, Lindsey, before we get you go, last question. Lottery next week. What is your prediction on place the Detroit Pistons will be picking?
Man, we getting the first pick.
We going Victor Wembanyama?
We're getting the first pick. Yes,
and with the first pick, the Houston Rockets select Victor Wembanyama. They got Ime Udoka already. They're going to get Victor Wembanyama.
It's going to be the Spurs.
Anyway, look, always appreciate you, big bro, signing in, tuning in. Got to get you on soon again. Love you too, bro.
Thanks, Lens. Love you, man.
Yes, sir.
We went over there a little bit. We'll get a quick message in from Fairway, and let's come back and react to some of the things he said. Let's talk about the Detroit Pistons and talk about, oh, my God, the Detroit Red Wings and yet another rig draft. What you got for us with JB?
Well, for over 60 years, Fairway Packing Company has provided Michigan's finest restaurants, hotels, and casinos with prime beef, Wagyu beef, and dry-aged beef. Experience the Fairway difference for yourself. Visit the steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods for grab-and-go steaks or order online at fairwaypacking.com.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports Network. This is Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Braylon Edwards here. Ryan Ermanni won't be with us, but we got the big guy filling in. Maz, talk about it, man. We talked about Victor Wembanyama and what he could do for a franchise. Maz, Pistons get the number 1 pick.
Oh, man.
You get Victor Wembanyama. What do you think that instantly does for the fan base and the team moving forward?
Oh, my God, the fan base.
Yeah.
They'd sell – I don't know about selling out the place, but they would sell a ton of season tickets at Little Caesars Arena. It would be the greatest thing to hit Detroit since, since sliced bread. I mean, really.
Yeah.
Cade Cunningham was one thing. But this kid is, you heard Lindsey, he's a unicorn. He could play every single position. And if that's the case, man, that puts the Pistons right there, man, in the East, where teams are starting to drop. I don't think the Bucks are going to be all that great anymore going forward. The Nets, they're rebuilding. The Knicks, still building. They're right there, man. The Pistons could be right there within 2-3 years of making it in to a deep playoff run if they get this guy and he turns out to be what he is, because they have a lot of money to spend on top of that. Get free agents over here.
Yeah, this is what I think about. I think this could be the greatest thing to happen, and I may be going too far with this as it relates to sports. This would be the greatest thing to happen to the city of Detroit. Like if Victor Wembanyama, if we win the #1 lottery ball and the Detroit Pistons get that draft pick, you know they're going to take Victor Wembanyama. Victor Wembanyama is a guy that already has an international following. He's good. Like the next person to become the biggest player of all time. Like LeBron's now the biggest player of all time. He became the next Shaq, I guess, because it was Jordan, then maybe Shaq, and then it was Kobe for a second, and it was LeBron. 2003, the chosen one. But he's from America, so he had to grow large overseas. Victor Wembanyama's already large overseas. Like he's a foreigner. He's coming to America to dominate this country. He's 7'3". He can shoot like KD. He gets to the rack like KD. I watched that tip dunk from a three-point attempt. I've never seen like that. And you're talking about a guy that's 19. Talking about a guy that's 19-year-old. You know the kind of sponsorship dollars that are going to be coming through Detroit to get a piece of Victor Wembanyama. You talk about not potentially selling the place out. Canada's right there. Do you know how many people are going to be flying in to see this guy play game? Do you know how many people go to freaking Milwaukee to go see Giannis?
The Pistons would be the ticket.
100%.
They need a ticket. Look what they have, this young nucleus that they put together already. You know, you got two guys that already made the all-rookie team. Cade made it the year before. Yeah. He hardly played this past year. You put those three guys with this guy and all the trades that they've made, that and all the stuff they're going to sign. They're going to sign some players coming up here. It just would be phenomenal. And that Piston logo would be out there again. It would be known. I loved it, man. When I was bragging back in the day, when they made, 6, 7 Eastern Conference Finals in a row?
Yeah.
And they won the championship in 2004. The Pistons were the team, man. That's right. We weren't afraid of anybody. We'd kick your ass. I loved it.
On and off the court.
Yeah.
Like on and off the court.
And off the court.
On and off the field. You're absolutely right about that. Detroit is a city where people have always liked the colors. People love the Red Wings jerseys. I mean, Tupac wearing a Red Wings jersey wasn't on accident. One, he loves the city of Detroit. He was in the city of Detroit. Red Wings, people know that logo. People know the Pistons logo, whether they don't like Detroit or not. They know that bad boys insignia. Yep. The Lions, people are starting to like the Lions logo.
Bet.
And the Tigers logo, that's one of the
Old English D.
Old English D is one of the most respected and recognizable logos ever. So the respect is there. We just got to get the players. Fletcher did a good job. You put it up. This is the all-rookie team. Let me see the #1. Let me see Team A.
The first team.
The first team. Let's see if we can switch some guys around in this. Obviously, Paolo Banchero, Rookie of the Year, deservingly so. Walker Kessler for the Utah Jazz. They had a decent season. Deserves to be on that list.
Benedict Mathurin. They wanted us to take him.
I like Benedict Mathurin. I liked him. He was a transfer out of was Arizona State. He went to Kansas. I liked him a lot. Keegan Murray. Keegan Murray was the guy projected to us the most until the last week of the draft. We get Jaden Ivey.
Remember we made fun of the Kings for taking him?
I did.
So we can get Ivy?
100%.
We made fun of the Kings for taking him.
That was the guy sitting in that chair, Ryan Ermanni, who's in love with Jaden Ivey. Keegan Murray's an Iowa guy. I thought that he had a damn good shooter. And then Jalen Williams. I believe that you can switch that up. I think that Keegan Murray is on there because the Kings were the number 3 seed. He deserves to be on this list because the Kings were the 3 seed.
Yeah.
So I don't think you really could bump our guys up unless maybe Walker Kessler for Jaden. But when you don't win, you can't make lists like this unless you just have dominant years, kind of like K did last year.
But here's the kicker on the lottery. That's what it is. It's a lottery.
It's cheating.
It's terrible.
It's cheating.
And let's go to the NHL for a minute.
NHL, they don't even give us the illusion that it's not rigged. Like, at least with the NBA, you see the balls flying around, paws, they're getting in you. You pick the ball out, and it's like, oh, it's 2, or hey, it's 11. At least that's believable. They just open the envelope and say, hey, oh, by the way, it's the Chicago Blackhawks. Can you at least give me an illusion that it's not rigged?
Let's put up the stat for the Red Wings here, and this was from Birchie Kid. And he put up the losses of the Red Wings. Read this here, Bray. Look at this.
This is from Will Birchfield. The Red Wings have the most losses in the NHL over the last 7 seasons, and these lottery picks show for it. 9, 6, 6, 4, 6, 8, and 9. I see 3 6s in there, so that should tell you all you need to know.
So here's the kicker. You see those numbers where they're drafting, and now you look at Steve Yzerman and the Yzer plan, and you're like, how come it's not going so quick? There you go. That's why it's not going so quick, because they're not even getting a top 3 freaking pick.
This is how it goes. Well, Maz, the player that is the number 1 pick in this draft in terms of projection is Connor Bernard.
Yep.
He is the type of person, Maz, if I'm saying this correctly, let me know. He can change a franchise.
Yes.
So if you give the Yzer plan the number 1 pick, as you clearly see in the last 7 drafts, they deserve the number 1 pick. If you give them Connor Bernard, now the Yzer plan has a chance to work. Does that sound about right?
It sounds very much right. And here's the kicker. The team that's finished second in this draft twice now, Sidney Crosby's draft and now Bedard's draft, were the Anaheim Ducks. They finished second to Crosby, and they finished second here to Bedard. Again, the Ducks coming up just a little short, but there your whole thing. There's the whole top whatever. The top 16 teams that didn't make the playoffs, there they all are. And the Red Wings sitting at 9 again. They're going to get a good player, but they're not going to get a Connor Bedard. We don't think, unless Steve Yzerman knows something that we don't know. And he does know a lot.
All right,
by the way, happy birthday to the captain. 58 years young today.
I told you guys the story. Steve Yzerman, happy birthday to you. He came to speak to the came to speak to the Michigan Wolverines 2003. We were getting ready to play Ohio State in the 100th game. And you know what? I think we got it done for the Cap. Let's take a quick commercial break, talk about Cousins Lobster, and then we'll get back. And man, let's just go around the NFL. But first, JB, Cousins Lobster.
I got that.
Oh, you got it? Well, somebody's got it.
I got it.
Somebody's got it.
Cousins Made Lobster. You know what to do. Click on that QR code. We just had Lindsey Hunter on. It's his favorite. He loves Cousins Made Lobster. CousinsMadeLobster.com. You click on that QR code. It'll take you right to their web page, and you can check them out. Check out their schedule. Download their app. Download their schedule. There's 2 trucks rolling around Detroit right now. Gorgeous day out there, by the way. Could be the best day of the year so far in 2023. It is outstanding
This is
weather. Anyway, if you want to find out where that truck is, see if they're in your neighborhood, you're going to be in for a treat. You're going to be thinking you're sitting on the East Coast eating that Maine lobster when you're right here in Detroit, USA. CousinsMadeLobster.com.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to WoodwardSports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to WoodwardSports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, SoldChristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at SoldChristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Welcome back to Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, Woodward Sports Network. Your boy Be Easy and my man Tom Mazawey. Fellas, Fletch, JB, how's the day going? It's a beautiful day outside. JB, how you doing, man?
Oh, I'm doing real good. Hopefully I can get outside to see this beautiful day. I know we've been in the studio a lot, but hopefully I'll get out there to see, the sun before it goes down.
You'll see the sunset. You'll be fine.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe. Alex, you good over there, man? First show, you good? Let's check in with the intern, make sure Alex is good. University of Michigan attendee. Shout out to the Wolverines who have another opportunity this year to win. We'll get into that maybe next week. Maz, time to go around the NFL.
All right.
Win totals.
Let's do it. The win totals are out. BetMGM, we already told you they were out, but now here's a BetMGM has put them out for you. So let's go over them little by little here, and you guys chip in and let me know what you're thinking here. The Cincinnati Bengals, the Kansas City Chiefs, the San Francisco 49ers, all the favorites at 11.5 wins. 11.5. I'll go to you first there, Bray. 11.5 on those 3. Let's hear it. Over, under? Go.
Cincinnati Bengals, over.
Chiefs?
Over.
And Niners?
Under.
I got over, under.
Same thing.
Yep. Okay, the Bills, the Jags, the Eagles, all at 10.5.
Bills under.
Okay.
I got the Bills under. Jags over. Eagles over.
Okay, I got the same thing. I got under for the Bills, over for the Jags. I'm going to go under on the Jags. I'm going to say 10 wins for the Jags, and I'm going to go over on the Eagles. I
think Jags will win that division. I think Buffalo. I think Buffalo will be right at 10. So
next ones, we got the 9.5s. The Browns, the Cowboys, the Ravens, the Lions, the Chargers, the Dolphins, and the Saints, and the Jets. Wow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 teams at 9.5 wins.
Talk about being indecisive. Let's start with the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns coming in 9.5. Tough division this year. I'll go with over.
I'm going under. Cowboys 9.5.
Over.
I'll go over as well. Ravens 9.5.
Over.
I'll go over. Lions 9.5.
Over.
Me too. Chargers 9.5.
Under.
I'll go over. Dolphins 9.5.
Hold on, Chargers. I was thinking the Rams. Los Angeles Chargers. I'll take the over.
Okay,
Dolphins. They got Kellen Moore now.
Dolphins.
That's a tough. I'm going over.
Me too.
I'm going over.
Saints.
Under.
Me too. That one smells, by the way.
It does. That one smells funky.
That one smells.
They're either going to be a damn good team this year. I was there with Derek Carr. Oh, what do you mean they have? Chris Olave.
I'm still going under.
Yeah, who's the other? Chris Olave. They picked up somebody else nice too. I know they had Mike Thomas as well as Juice retired. They picked up somebody else. But they drafted somebody. It'll come to me. Maybe Quentin Nelson. Maybe
9.5 for the Jets.
That's. Oh no, the Chargers got Quentin Johnston.
Jets 9.5.
Over.
Tough division.
Over. That's why Quentin Williams isn't going anywhere.
Here's your 8.5s. The Falcons, the Broncos, the Vikings, the Giants, the Steelers, and Seahawks. 8.5. Start with the Falcons.
Over for the Falcons. I like Bijan Robinson at running back. It makes it a little bit easier for that quarterback. You got Drake London, and you still got the tight end Kyle Pitts. I'll go with the over, and I like the coach.
I like the over on the Atlanta Falcons. I like the over on the Broncos, too. 8.5.
Sean Payton is coming in there. You see what he's done to the running game. Offensive lineman was where he's gone. They're going to fix that thing up, make it a little bit better for Russell Wilson.
This one I think is easy to me. Vikings 8.5. They won 13 last year.
Over.
Me too.
Of course it's the over.
8.5.
8.5 over.
But you know what that means? Something smells there too.
Something's rotten.
Something's rotten.
And maybe they're thinking Minnesota replaces the Chicago Bears at the bottom.
Or maybe they're thinking all those wins that they got by one score are going to do the opposite this year.
Yeah, they still had 9 wins the year before that too, though.
Giants 8.5.
Or 8 wins, something like that. Giants 8.5. I'm going. Here's where it gets interesting. I'm going under for the Giants.
So you think they're going to win 8 games, 8 and 9?
I don't believe in Daniel Jones. I don't believe in their offense. I understand they still have Saquon Barkley. I believe in the defense. I don't believe in the offense. And it's only going to get harder. People are going to scout that team. Daniel Jones won't be able to get away with 15 touchdowns and 17 interceptions. Well, he didn't have 17 interceptions. Yeah. That was the year before. He's not going to be able to get away with that.
I think they win 9, so over. Steelers,
you're also
8.5.
from New York.
Steelers, 8.5.
Over.
Man, we got a lot of overs. That means there's not going to be a lot of losers in this league. Seahawks.
We just haven't got to them yet.
Seahawks, 8.5.
Over.
Here we go. The 7.5. There's a whole bunch of them. We'll just go. Carolina.
Under.
I'll go under. Bears.
Under.
Me too. Packers.
Over.
I'll go under. Raiders.
Under.
I'll go over.
Who's the quarterback? Jimmy G now?
Yeah.
Jimmy G's the quarterback.
I'll go over.
They bought in. They drafted Tyree Wilson. I'll go over.
Rams.
Over.
I got under.
Over.
Patriots.
Under.
This makes me happy. Under. Titans.
Under.
I got over. Commanders.
Who's the quarterback?
I don't care. Malik Willis.
They about to cut him.
I know.
Under.
Commanders.
Under. Commanders. Under.
Buccaneers.
Under.
That's 6.5. Colts 6.5.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers will be the first pick in the 2014 NFL draft.
These are your top 4 picks coming out here.
Tampa Bay is
the Colts 6.5.
Under.
Cardinals 5.5.
Under.
And the Texans 5.5.
Over.
There you go. Everybody's a winner here in the NFL except these last 5 teams that we have.
They're bad 5 teams, man. The Arizona Cardinals, the Bidwell does not have that organization, that franchise in a good spot. The guys that are there don't want to be there. The guys get drafted there are looking like, damn, this is the situation we're coming into. I think the Texans will be a lot better. You get C.J. Stroud, Will Anderson first year. They've made some moves, so I think they'll be better. Colts are stink, and I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will be the first pick in the 2014. Is
Anthony Richardson going to quarterback the whole year for the Colts?
Yes.
Will he do good enough?
I think he'll do good. I think, to be honest, I think the people that thought that he could be amazing, I think the people that thought that Anthony Richardson was going to be one of these new-time futuristic quarterbacks, I think he'll do that. I think he'll provide some of those moments. For the people that thought he would struggle like he struggled in college, I think he will provide moments like that as well. But I think overall, I think he'll prove that he was worth the 4th pick in the 2023 NFL draft. I think he'll prove he was worth the pick, but there will be some growing pains.
There's some free agents out there. I want to talk about one of them right now, and his name is Ezekiel Elliott. We know him as Zeke. Word on the street is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers might be interested in bringing him aboard.
Update: Bucks could potentially sign former Cowboys running back Ezekiel Elliott per Jamie Fowler, ESPN. Fowler was told that the Bucks are looking for an RB2 behind Rashard White, and that Zeke could be an option for them. A return to the Cowboys is also still an option per the report. You know what? I don't think that he'd go to Tampa Bay. This is why. If you go to Tampa to replace, like if you're going to Tampa to be a number 2 running back, like you're going there to be a number 2 running back, you're talking about a team that is about to legitimately be a horrible NFL team. They still got Mike Evans. You still have Godwin. But they're not going to be a good team. They're looking to probably be a team that's going to be picking first next year. Ezekiel Elliott's chasing the championship. He's trying to be on a team, and he's still got something in the tank, I do believe, man.
I don't.
He's got something in the tank. And why not come back for less money in Dallas? Because just like NIL, there's a lot of sponsorship dollars in Dallas. You don't have to make all your money on the football field in Dallas.
I know, but do you think he can hold his head up and come back?
What's hold his head up? He's injured. Like, if someone legitimately took my job because they were better than me, then that's one thing. Then that means I got to leave the organization. I got to get to a new situation with some new air. But if I've been banged up, nicked up, and the guys have been healthy and he's taking over, that's different. And this is home. So at the end of the day, we'll see. But let's take a quick commercial break and come back for the last 2 segments of the show. Tell me about Les Stanford.
Oh, I gotcha. Les Stanford has expanded out into Ferndale, a trusted name for over 50 years. Les Stanford Buick GMC, the same great service that customers have come to know and love. Go check them out on Woodward, just south of 9 Mile. And of course, let's not forget about Les Stanford out in Dearborn if you're looking for that new Chevy or new Cadillac. Whatever brand you're looking for, Les Stanford has it. It's LesStanford.com. LesStanford.com.
Find new roads.
Find them.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh, wait. It's 2 for $4. Got to double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Kroger's, and if you want to know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Hey, great day outside. Shout out to Derek Kevin for Fox 2, Ryan Ermanni's buddy. He said that on May 4th, it would get to 60 and it would never go below 60 again. And so far, Kevs, you've been right. So shout out to you. 69 degrees on this beautiful day. I said it right, 69 degrees. Maz, around the NFL, talk to me.
Let's keep going, folks. We talked about Zeke going maybe to the Buccaneers. How about this? The Ravens have said they would have drafted Will Levis in the first round had they not re-signed Lamar Jackson in time.
You see, like things like this. Let me read it for per Dov Kaiman, our guy, who a lot of people seem to not like anymore. Report: the Ravens would have drafted him. You already read it for the most part. Actually, you read it already.
I did.
Maz, this is information you keep to yourself. This is information. If I'm a Baltimore Ravens fan and the team comes out and says, hey, if we didn't re-sign the guy that wins 75% of his games, that won MVP in the second year for us, that got us to the playoffs majority of the time he's been in there, a guy that is just out of sight, I don't know why the hell that 70 turn came in. But a guy that's just so damn good, if we didn't sign him back, oh, yeah, we would sign Will Levis, a guy that fell to the second round. Things like this you don't share. You keep this to yourself.
Well, I don't know if they shared it. I mean, somebody leaked it.
Somebody leaked it on purpose because it was a goofball move. Like, I just don't understand how that is even a thought process. Hey, if potentially we don't bring Lamar Jackson back, let's sign Will Levis. Like, what about that sound? Like, what about that sounds like good football?
Well, I would have taken Will Levis too had I not signed.
And
Lamar
that's
Jackson.
why you were sitting next to me and not in a war room.
Well, there you go.
JB, you tell me, what do you think about that? Will Levis is a comparable option. If you don't sign back, Mr. 75% of my games, I win.
No.
That's
not a good comparison.
Thank you.
I wouldn't even have attempted to sign Will Levis, but that's just me.
Even Alex is smiling in here that is ludicrous. Even Alex understands it's ludicrous.
All right, let's move on. Here's something for you guys. I've had this probably for 2 weeks in my hand. 8 surprise trade and cut candidates from Pro Football Focus. You ready?
I'm ready, brother.
The first one, I can't even say the name.
Ryan. I hope Ryan's listening.
Malik Willis is the first one. Yes, the Tennessee Titans traded up in the second round to take Will Levis, leaving Malik Willis, Tennessee's third-round pick from last year, in a tough spot. He came in a tough spot last year. He was not ready. Tannehill went down. Yeah. They had no choice but to stick this kid in there, and he was not ready because when they drafted him, he was supposed to be drafted as a guy to be a project, to be brought up through the ranks, not just thrown in to an NFL game. Could they have ruined his career?
He could have been a second pick overall, according to some people.
I'm just saying, could they have ruined his career by putting him in too quickly?
Well, they gave him an opportunity. They drafted him. They gave him an opportunity. But 100%, a lot of times when you put guys in the fire and they're not ready at the quarterback position, it is the hardest position to get your confidence back. It's the hardest position to give it the good old college try yet again. You saw Jared Goff when he first got to the Detroit Lions. He looked like a guy that was aimlessly walking around, didn't know what this second part of his career held for him. But luckily, Ben Johnson, they stayed by him, and he's gotten it together. It's the hardest position to recover from as quarterback that loses confidence.
This is from our the 33rd team, I'm sorry, to our good friend Ari Mayroff. Next guy.
We got to get Ari on soon.
Corey Davis, wide receiver from the New York Jets. It says, Davis has been a potential cut or trade candidate all offseason, but the New York Jets have held on to him. Robert Saleh says late March that Davis will be part of the team, but they already have Garrett Wilson. They signed Alan Lazard, McCole Hardman, and Randall Cobb. If they release Davis, they'd save $10.5 million.
Here's the hard thing with Corey Davis. You saw what he did at Western Michigan. I mean, I think he had 4,600 yards in his career. Like, he was phenomenal there. He showed flashes when he was with the Tennessee Titans, but you haven't really seen the flashes in recent times of the dominance that he had at one point that made him, I want to say he was the fourth or fifth player taken overall. Haven't seen that in a while, and he doesn't play his height. It'd be different if Corey Davis was 6'3" and was playing at a 6'3" level. He was getting high-pointing passes, jumping over guys, mossing guys, but that's not the way he plays, and they do have a deep room. But what I would do, I wouldn't do it now, Maz. I will wait to see, because guess what? You haven't seen how Aaron Rodgers is going to be in that office. You haven't seen who Aaron Rodgers is going to like in that office, in that wide receiver room. So I will wait this thing out through training camp.
Next up on our surprise trade and cut candidate from the 33rd team is linebacker from the Baltimore Ravens, Patrick Queen. Before the draft, there was chatter about Patrick Queen growing frustrated with the Baltimore Ravens. The team went on to draft Clemson linebacker Trenton Simpson in the third round. Queen reacted on Twitter, by the way. He didn't like it. And they declined Queen's fifth-year option in 24. This is a guy, when they took him, I was like, man, I wish the Lions took him. But I guess maybe he's not as good as I thought he was going to be.
Sometimes, in the NFL, sometimes guys come out of college, they're in one place, and they get drafted to a situation. People got to realize the Baltimore Ravens, who've been known for defense throughout their existence. When you think Baltimore Ravens, you think about Ray Lewis and Ed Reed and Dwayne Starks and Terrell Suggs. The list goes on. But that defense has not been that good for the Baltimore Ravens for the better part of 4 years. That's another reason why Lamar Jackson has been let down. You draft Trenton Simpson in the 3rd round. That's a steal. Damn good linebacker out of Clemson. And then you just paid Roquan Smith, who had a tremendous year. Yet again, great move by Baltimore, bringing him in from Chicago and paying him. You don't need Queen anymore, and maybe it's not his situation.
Let's skip to a great running back, who at one point I thought was going to be a really stud, Clyde Edwards-Helaire of the Chiefs. The Chiefs declined his 5th-year option. It would have been worth about $5.5 million. The former LSU product has missed 7 games in each of the last 2 seasons. So I guess it's kind of like the old DeAndre Swift thing here.
But here's the thing, and you got to appreciate about Veach. Veach is the GM for the Kansas City Chiefs. They don't stay on players long. If they miss, they get them out of there and say, hey, you know what? We missed. They own up to it, and they get them out of there. You hate to see teams, and guess who does it a lot? Jerry Jones does it a lot. He will double down on a player just to prove he was wrong, and he will spend more money, and he will have more guys wasting his time. Clyde Edwards-Helaire out of Auburn, out of LSU, that national championship Jimmy Burrow team. It didn't work, and you know what the Chiefs said? It's okay. Yeah. We'll move on. Great job by Veach and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Last one I want to tell you about is Anthony Schwartz, wide receiver in Cleveland. He hauled in just 14 of 33 targets for the Browns. They used the 3rd-round pick in 2021, and this leaves them in a tough spot. They traded for Elijah Moore from the Jets and speedy receiver Marquise Goodwin, and they drafted Tennessee's Cedric Tillman. They also have Amari Cooper, Donovan Peoples-Jones, and Hakeem Grant, who's coming back from an Achilles injury. Do you know anything about Anthony Schwartz?
I know he won't be there, and it makes sense that he won't be there. It's because Donovan Peoples-Jones is actually coming into his own with the Cleveland Browns. Shout out to the Detroit native, University of Michigan. I see you over there smiling, Alex, about Donovan Peoples-Jones. Excuse me. He's doing well with the Cleveland Browns. He's gotten better and better each year. He's dependable. He scores touchdowns. He catches first down. You have Amari Cooper. The Dallas Cowboys know they messed up when they let Amari Cooper go because CeeDee Lamb has played phenomenal, but he wasn't necessarily ready to be the number 1. They have that guy. And then everybody forgot. You get Elijah Moore from the New York Jets. Elijah Moore was lightning in a bottle 2 years ago.
Underachiever.
Well, he was lightning in a bottle 2 years ago. He was an overachiever. Last year, there was no quarterback mask.
Good point.
So, Garrett Wilson was getting all the passes.
Yeah.
But then, he's still a guy that can play. So you have.
He wanted out.
Yeah, as I would want out. I would want out too. If Joe Flacco is my quarterback, or Mike White, or I got to go back to Zach Wilson every 4th game, I would have wanted out as well.
Well, he's got Deshaun Watson thrown to him now.
Well, last year wasn't the best year, but we know he set out for 2 years. Look for him to have a bounce back year because he was a damn good quarterback at Clemson, and he was a damn good quarterback with the Texans with no receivers.
Last one I got for you before the break. It's Pro Football Focus's best prospects at every position. All right, this was the draft this last draft.
You got me working today.
Look at these players here. You can just look at the TV, and I'm going to talk about it.
Okay.
Jalen Carter. They think he is the best defensive lineman. They think Will Anderson Jr. is the best edge rusher. Guess who they think the best linebacker is?
None other than Iowa Hawkeyes' own Jack Campbell.
The best corner, Devon Witherspoon. And who do you think the best safety they believe is?
None other than the guy that stayed an extra day so he could hang out with the Detroit Lions fans when he was drafted, Brian Branch.
How about that? The Lions have 2 of the 5 best players at prospect for every position here on the defensive side of the ball.
And that's why when you saw the full rankings from the NFL, these were the NFL's rankings on what they felt about the draft. Pro Football Focus, my 33rd team, Ari Mayroff. When you see these guys, everybody gave the Lions a passing grade, whether it was an 82, which was the highest for the NFL, whether it was a B+, whether it was an 8, whatever it was, is because they got the guys that were either 1 or 2 at some form of their position. Sam Laporta is the best receiving. He's the best yards after catch tight end that was in the draft this year. You look at, obviously, Brian Branch. He's the best tackler. He's only missed 4 tackles in 4 years. He plays slot corner as well, which means he can check wide receivers as well as tight ends, as well as bring the heat. And then Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs was number 2 to Bijan Robinson's number 1. Everybody that they draft, they were ranked 1 or 2 in their respective drafts at that position.
Cool, man.
So let's get to the break. This is our last segment. What happened to the show, man?
Hey, man, it's starting to go.
We've been kicking. This is one. We mean starting to go. There's 1 segment left. My God! But first, a message from Planet Fitness.
Yes,
P-Fit.
Planet Fitness. Now, we all know Planet
P-Fit.
Fitness as the judgment-free zone where you can work out for only $10
Only
a
$10?
month. Yes, only $10. But now Planet Fitness is thrilled to allow high schoolers ages 14 through 19 in the U.S. and Canada to work out for free all summer long from May 15th through August 31st. Teens can register now and officially gain access to the club on May 15th, with registration opening all during the summer months through August 31st. But there is more, because Planet Fitness is giving away over $200,000 to high schoolers and students. Teens ages 14 through 19 who register for the high school summer pass can help win a scholarship for their school and participate in a TikTok video contest for a chance to win academic scholarships. Man. Yes, TikTok. Visit the landing page for more information, which is at pfsummerpasscontest.com. It's Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Essential.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Ermanni and Edwards, last segment of the show with Maz, and I actually am with Maz. Maz, last segment of the show. I'm going to lean on you, brother. Where you want to go?
Hey, well, tonight, let's go over what tonight's going on. On the tube tonight, you got a couple of NBA games. The Sixers at the Celtics. Game number 5 in Boston. This series deadlocked at 2. You know the scoop, James Harden. Man, the good things he's doing for the shooting victim.
Yeah.
John Howe at MSU, and how he's just making that kid's life worth living. Showing this kid, giving him the strength to keep fighting. He wants to see that kid walk again, and he's bringing him to Game 6, but you got to win Game 5 first.
Yeah, 100%. I think look for the Sixers to get some energy out of the whole John Howe situation. Look how well James Harden is playing. James Harden came off 45 in Game 1. He turned back the clock without Embiid. Embiid wasn't out there, and they still got the win. Played horrible in Game 2 and 3. They lose, and then he comes back when John Howe's on the court. They win Game 4. He has 42 points. His efficiency was through the roof. I think he was 17 of 23. Efficient game for him. They got to bring that again. I think something might have gotten lit in James Harden, Tobias Harris. Because think about this, man. They won that game on the back, yet again, of James Harden.
Yep.
Guess who didn't necessarily play that well in the last 2 games? It's Joel Embiid. Yeah. Joel Embiid wins the MVP wins the MVP and is awarded in Game 3. In Game 3, they lose the game. Like something like that sticks out.
That was a game that we all thought they were going to win because of that award.
I'm glad I didn't give information for you guys to bet on. But look for the 76ers to take advantage of the Celtics, because right now, Celtics look like they did last year when you were like, wait, are the Warriors going to win this thing? Celtics kind of look like that right now.
All right, guys. You ready? I'm going to give you the best bet of the night.
Let me write this down.
This is easy. The Nuggets host the Suns tonight in Game 5.
Tied up 2-2.
2-2. I don't care.
Nikola Jokic got fined $25,000.
He's playing. I don't care what the spread is. And JB, you can tell me what the spread is. Take Denver. They're going to win by 20 tonight.
Ooh.
They're going to win by 20 points tonight.
The only reason why I will say I don't know about 20. Now, I think they're going to win. Is because KD finally played like KD. KD hadn't been playing good basketball. Even 2 games ago when he had 38 points, he took 37 shots to get that 38. So he hadn't been playing exceptionally well. He got bounced in the first round last year. He turned the ball off a ton of times last year. Last game was his first good game. They're getting some good play out of Cameron Payne. They've accelerated the pace. So they may lose. I don't know about 20.
What's the spread there, JB?
It is Denver -6.
Give 6 till it hurts. Tease the points up. Get better odds for yourself. They're winning by double digits. That's all I got to tell you.
I'll take that. If they won by 12, I say you're right. I just know they ain't winning by 20.
We'll see. Remember that tomorrow when we come in.
Okay, I'll write it down.
Next,
take a picture.
NHL tonight. What do we got? 2 games tonight. We got the New Jersey Devils on home ice hosting the Carolina Hurricanes. Devils coming off a huge 8-4 win, sloppy game, but they put 8 goals in the net. And this is when they started playing really well against the Rangers, games 3 and 4. And they're doing it again. The Canes bottled them up in games 1 and 2. I like the Devils tonight to come out on home ice and tie that series up. What do you think?
I like the Carolina. I like the Carolina Hurricanes, man. Something about that ugly logo, man. I think they're gonna play well. They played last year. Them and the Florida Panthers are 2 teams I'm looking at. I'm just like, something about them. Something about the Florida Panthers, they're playing well. Something about the Carolina Hurricanes, they're playing well. I like both those teams. Hurricanes go up 3, and this is 3-1 time. Miami Heat's up 3-1. The Lakers are up 3-1. The Carolina Hurricanes.
Why are you sticking it to me? Why are you sticking it to me?
Because I'm
the Devils. I'm the Devils guy. You can't root for me.
I want you to win. I just think Carolina's going to win. I want you to win, though.
All right, the Kraken up 2-1.
Remember, I'm a stepbrother too.
They host the Stars. They're up 2-1. I'll give you the 3-1 here. I like the Kraken to hold home ice again and beat the Stars. So those are your doubleheader games in the NHL.
I love that Kraken under the ice. It's so cool.
It is cool.
Seattle's a great sports city.
It is.
Great sports city.
Here's something for you guys. The Tigers, our own Tigers. He beat the Guardians last night.
Yes, sir.
They've won 6 of their last 7 games. Same 2 teams tonight. I'm telling you, man, this Tiger team, what are they, 3 games out of first right now?
3 games out of first, 1 game out of second place.
I mean, this is a team we thought were going to lose, and they still could. I don't think they will. Well over 100 games. They're not. Whatever they have going, this ragtag team held together by spit and shoe polish. Scott Hayes
and bubblegum.
I know. The GM. What's Scott's name?
Scott Harris.
Scott Harris. Thank you. Scott Hayes is my friend. Scott Harris.
Shout out to Scott Hayes out there.
Scott Hayes. God bless you, man. And of course, AJ Hinch, their manager. They're pushing the right buttons on this team. This team's starting to get some confidence, and to beat Cleveland, like Ryan said, if they win this series, there might be something here because the Mariners come to town after that.
100% got to give a lot of love to Ryan Ermanni. He called it yesterday. He's been talking about just keeping competitive. Well, looking at that helmet on the Detroit Road. And got to talk about that too.
The home run thing.
Obviously it started with the turnover chain?
Yeah.
I think it's Georgia and Miami. The turnover chain started. Then you had Georgia got the shoulder pass.
Everyone's got something.
Then you had the people dunking, which is the one I thought was the dumbest one, dunking on the backboard. Somebody would tear ACL. But it brings the coaches together. Now you got the Tigers embracing the Red Wings and so on and so on. The Lions to do something as it relates to the Pistons. I see that being fun. But Scott Harris came on here in the mission. The first thing he acknowledged, he said the Tigers, they're swinging at terrible pitches. The pitch selection they're choosing is horrible. The pitcher's throwing is horrible. So the things that he announced when he first got here, the things that he went after when he first got here, they're doing much better job now. So, hey, these guys could be in first place in 4 games?
By the end of the weekend, if things go well. But they got Shane Bieber to beat tonight. He's tough. Michael Lorenzen.
His last name's Bieber.
Hey,
I take my chances.
Michael Lorenzen shut down the Mets his last start. Went 8 innings. If they can get something out of Lorenzen, I'm telling you, man.
Wasn't it Scherzer he beat?
Yeah, I think he did.
Beat Scherzer?
No, it was Verlander. I think he beat Verlander. Doesn't matter.
Scherzer got beat 8-1.
He beat one of those guys.
Scherzer.
Anyway, it's Bieber against Lorenzen tonight. Go Tigers.
Go Tigers, man. They're 15 and 17. They're holding it down. They're looking good. City's looking up, man. Hope we can get that damn draft pick.
Let's get our draft pick now. The Red Wings did it. Let's get the Pistons to win it.
Any closing thoughts?
Yeah. I'll see you tomorrow.
We'll see you guys tomorrow. Appreciate you tuning in. Woodward Sports Network. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz.
Special guest tomorrow.
Ryan, we love you. We'll see you tomorrow. Special guest tomorrow. Fletch, JB, great job. Alex, you had a good time?
Welcome to the team, Alex.
Alex had a good time, man. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.